Chapter 51. Listen and repeat. Public transport. A. Conversation. Is there any public transport in the city? There are several kinds of public transport in the city. Are there buses? There are buses on the main streets. Is there an underground? Yes, there is. What about cars? A lot of people drive their cars in the city. What about taxis? There are a lot of taxis on the streets. Which are more expensive, taxis or buses? Taxis are more expensive than buses. Which are more expensive, taxis or the underground? Taxis are more expensive than the underground, too. Are buses in the underground cheaper than taxis? Yes, they are. Nota. As already noted, the use of the definite article differs in English and Italian. In English, the article is omitted before plural nouns that generally refer to an entire category of people or things, buses, taxis. The definite article is used before nouns referring to a single specific object in context, the underground. Why do people use taxis? People use taxis because they're convenient. Which are more convenient, taxis or the underground? Taxis are more convenient than the underground. Which are faster, taxis or buses? Taxis are faster than buses. Which are more comfortable, taxis or buses and the underground? Taxis are more comfortable than buses and the underground. Are buses and the underground crowded? They're often crowded, especially at rush hour. Are they dirty? Yes, they're often dirty too. Which are cleaner, taxis or the underground and buses? Taxis are cleaner than the underground and buses. Where do taxis take you? They take you exactly where you want to go. How was Lesson 1? It was difficult. How was Lesson 2? It was easy. Which was more difficult? Lesson 1 was more difficult than Lesson 2. Which was easier? Lesson 2 was easier than Lesson 1. What does he do? He's a construction worker. What does he do? He's an office worker. Who has a more dangerous job? A construction worker has a more dangerous job than an office worker. Who has a safer job? An office worker has a safer job than a construction worker. What's Anna doing? She's trying to catch a taxi. What's the taxi going to do? It's going to stop. Does she often take taxis? Yes, she does. Why does she take taxis? She likes to sleep late in the morning. Does she want to be late for work? No, she doesn't. Is it expensive? She spends a lot of money on taxis. What should she do? She ought to get up earlier. What should she buy? She ought to buy a loud alarm clock. What should she take? She ought to take the underground. What shouldn't she do? She ought not to spend so much money. The verb to spend. The verb to spend, meaning to spend money or to spend time, is followed by the preposition on. Example: she spends a lot of money on taxis. Adverbs and vocabulary. Adverbs. Adverbs can form the comparative of superiority either by inflection, early, earlier, or by placing more before the positive form, easily, more easily, according to rules similar to those for adjectives. B. Vocabulary. Alarm clock. Arm, noun. Building. Worker. Cheap. Collar. Colored. Conservative, adjective. Construction. Construction worker. Cotton, noun. Crowded. Dangerous. Difficult. Discount. Especially. Exactly. Expensive. Fashionable. Loud. Main, adjective. Medium, adjective. office worker. Percent, percent. Perfectly. Public transport. Rather safe, adjective. Size. Sleeve. So much, so many, adjective. So much, adverb. Terribly. Worker. Verbs to be interested in. To be right. To build. Built. Built. To catch. To look around. Ought to. Insights. Percent. This expression follows a cardinal number, not preceded by the article, and indicates a percentage. It comes before the noun it refers to, acting as an attributive adjective. Example. What discount can you make? 15%. Size. This noun indicates the measurement of different items of clothing. When followed by the number indicating the specific size, it precedes the noun naming the item of clothing, acting as an adjective. Example. I wear size 5 shoes. Clothing size can also be indicated by an adjective. Small size, abbreviation S. Medium size, abbreviation M. Large size, abbreviation L. To catch. This verb, besides the meaning to grab, to seize, also means to catch, a means of transport that is about to leave, or to reach someone who is leaving. Thus, while to take a bus, a train, etc., means to take regularly a bus, a train, etc., to catch a bus, a train, etc., means to manage to take a bus, a train, etc. Dialogue. I'd like to see some shirts. Are you interested in white or colored shirts? Well, white, I think. The colored shirts are very fashionable this year. They're for my husband. He's rather conservative. What size does he wear? He wears a size 15 collar. And the sleeves? His arms are rather short, size 32, I think. These are very nice. They're 100% cotton. How much are they? They're $4.50. Oh, that's terribly expensive. Well, we have these at $3.50. Thank you. I think I'll look around a little more. You're welcome. Nota. In the expression, they're $4.50, the words pounds and pence are implied, as is usual in price indications. The full expression would be, they're £4.50. Grammar comparison with adjectives. Positive, comparative. Modern, more modern. Correct, more correct. Pleasant, more pleasant. Convenient, more convenient. Expensive, more expensive. We have already seen that not all adjectives form the comparative of superiority by inflection, that is, by adding the suffix -er. The comparative is formed by placing the adverb more before the positive form of adjectives that are formed by 2 syllables and not ending in -er or y, formed by more than 2 syllables. Word order, adjectives. This sweater is cheap. I bought a cheap sweater. It's getting cloudy. Today is a cloudy day. This sweater is cheaper than that one. I bought a cheaper sweater than Anna did. The baker's flat is more convenient than the Johnsons'. The bakers rented a more convenient flat than the Johnsons did. In English, adjectives can be used in 2 different functions, predicative and attributive. They have a predicative function when they follow verbs like to be, to become, to get, etc., and express a quality of the noun. They have an attributive function when they precede the noun they refer to. This also applies when the adjective is in the comparative form. Auxiliary verbs. Ought to. Bill should/ought to save money for his holidays. You should/ought to try that restaurant. You shouldn't/ought not to take a taxi to work every morning. It's too expensive. The children shouldn't/ought not to pick the flowers. Ought to is also a modal auxiliary verb that follows the same rules as other modals. However, note that it is always followed by the infinitive with to. It has the same meaning and use as should. It expresses opportunity, advice, or suggestion. In its negative form, ought not or contracted oughtn't, it has the same meaning as shouldn't. It indicates that the action is not advisable or not appropriate.